Hey YouTube, didn't quite get the editing software for the other camera quite ironed out yet, so gonna do it on my phone today, just so you can see the progress. It's beautiful Saturday evening, sitting here listening to the cricket a little bit, relaxing before I have to go out shopping for food. And let me take you around, show you what's going on. There is hope for the okra yet. Got two little sproutlings. Not quite on the hot peppers yet. Definitely is definitely the zucchini. Not quite on the broccoli. Do have a couple on the snow peas. And still waiting on the garden beans. I do have, let's see, that side's basil. So those are basil. Not quite on the garlic chives yet. Got the Swiss chard coming up. And kale. This whole row is kale. And then the lettuce. And 1 week? Yeah. 1 week on the radishes. They're really fast growing. Another couple of weeks, these will be ready. So I'm going to plant another row here very soon, so I can do a succession of radishes. They're gonna be so good. But yeah. Really pretty evening. So, and then got a lot of tomatoes. These are the yellow cherry and the red. And I picked one summer squash. Got another one going. My wonderful revival flower. I need to do a lot of deadheading, but once I do, it'll start blooming again. Tomatoes, just watered them. They're kind of getting a little sick. I never did prune them, so kind of not surprised. Next year I'll trellis and prune. Got a few that might be ripe. I'm gonna wait a couple of days. I switched the big tomatoes to a every other day watering schedule, because the last few times I've picked something, they've been all watery and wasn't very good. So I do think I'm losing the battle with the, oh, that's a wasp. I think I'm losing the battle with the mildew, so I got two new ones coming up, so these will probably come out and I'll probably put the okra in those. And this flower's taking off. I think I'm actually going to get some flowers out of this one. Let's turn this around. I might actually get, and once they bloom, oh, nice picture of the trash can. Once they bloom, I'll do an update so we can discover what they are. My little peach tree, it'll get planted next week for sure. I just have to go get fertilizer for it. the hardy hibiscus. Well, I think I'm doing something wrong with this one, so I need to look up, see what's going on. So, but it is opening. And this zucchini plant's doing actually pretty good. I did go through and prune my zucchinis pretty heavily, and this one went from all looking like this to having some new growth really turned green. So I think I did the best thing I could for it. I need to pull out a few more leaves that are sickly, and mystery flowers that are starting to take off, and mystery flowers. And now these are also starting to take off. That's a week's growth right there. So I've got a lot of tomatoes to pick. Yeah, there's the patio garden. Let me show you the back garden. So this is where we ended last time. I showed my parents taking out all the vines. They got all the vines pulled off. And I was wondering where that went. It was hiding underneath the vines that these need pruned desperately, because they're pulling down on the fence, and yeah, that's not safe at all. So we need to talk to our neighbor about that. But my parents took out all of those vines along this entire section because the Japanese beetles just love them. And unfortunately, it got some of them on the roses. There, those little boogers. I need to come out with a bucket of water. These are the devil in bug form. Just saying. Yeah. I can't actually express my disdain for these little critters because, yeah, Facebook language laws. And if you know me, I don't cuss a lot. So that should give you an indication of how I feel about these. Like, if anybody has any good ways to control those, to kill them, I am open to it. I don't like chemicals, but that's what we've been resorting to. So, but moving on. This I've recently found out, and it's kind of coming to the end of its season, but it's salvia. And it'll get trimmed back and it'll come next year. The bees just absolutely love the salvia. This was covered in flowers, as was our blackberries, because this part right here, all of this here, that's all blackberries. And the entire thing was covered like this in berries. So I have an entire freezer full of blackberries. So that's blackberries. And all of this is blackberries. Gonna need to come out and pick some blackberries tonight. All of that is blackberries. And we have 2 rose bushes struggling and fighting with the massive amount of mint. I like mint, but I'll never plant mint in the ground again because it's a bully. It just takes over everything. So yeah, the entire bush was full of berries like that. So I have a lot of canning of blackberries and jams to do in my future, but I love it. And they are delicious. I'm probably going to see if I can save some seeds from these, other than just take the big ones out and the far gone ones off and start some and sell some of these. I don't know what variety they are, but they are just massively productive and delicious. Oh, so good. So that's the back garden. And let me show you the trees. So these two trees here were here when we moved in 30 years ago. They're apple trees and they are so good. I do need to come through and pick some of them because they're all falling to the ground now, and I do want to at least get some apples, but I have to go get a apple picker. This is a cherry tree we planted when we moved in. It's kind of needing a haircut, getting a trim, because I think these 3 branches are dead. I think these 2 branches are dead, so we're gonna prune this one back, see if it can pull a miracle like our old plum tree. That's another story though. That's for another video. These 2 trees here that I have my hammock between, hello bunny, evil rabbits, are crab apples, and it looks like these are ready to pick. I have a couple friends who are gonna come over and we are gonna pick crab apples, and she's gonna make me crab apple jelly. But yeah, these crab apples are so prolific as well that this tree looks like a willow tree, as you can see with the massive amounts that's on the tree still and what's fallen to the ground. So there's those trees. We used to have trees all along the edge of our property, but as we've lived here for 30 years, they've kind of petered out. So back here that was a big tree we had. We had to take it out because it was leaning towards the power lines. Got some more trees that our neighbors really should be pruning. But this little apple tree here was completely destroyed last year with those Japanese beetles. And it came back, but it didn't flower. So hoping next year, cross your fingers. And right here, this little dirt spot, this is probably where I'm gonna plant the peach tree, right here. I just have to get fertilizer for it. And that tree we planted, and it was an itty bitty tree when we moved in. You can kind of see how it's taken off. I love that tree. So that is the fruit trees we've got. So yeah. So thank you for taking a walk with me today. Hope to see you again. Please, 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 if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, help me build my channel. And hope to see you again. Love to you and yours. Bye.